So YouTube has made a kind of weird decision about a YouTuber that has been on the website for a very long time, and that YouTuber is Hutch. If you've been on YouTube for a long time, you probably know who Hutch is. Hutch is like an OG YouTuber. He's been around forever. Like if you know CNators or White Boy 7 Street or any of those people, he was around when they were around. He was also a part of Machinima, and he was pretty big in Machinima. But recently, YouTube has suspended his AdSense account for quote-unquote invalid traffic, which is really weird because for one, I can't remember the last time that someone was actually banned for like invalid traffic, at least someone that was very large, like a big personality. I'm sure there's a lot of smaller channels that get banned for invalid traffic because they viewbot, but viewbotting is like overall kind of dumb if you've been on the website for this long and you kind of know the game, because it usually always gets caught at some point. So most people who have a personality and a stake in the game don't really viewbot. It's just not worth it. But Hutch made this tweet saying, well, pals, at YouTube creators asked AdSense to take yet another look at my permanent suspension for invalid traffic, and they have tripled down that I'm responsible for what they detected on my channel. They seemingly do not believe that I could have been targeted. And basically in this tweet, he is saying that someone viewbotted his channel for him to get him suspended from AdSense, which is like very possible. There is nothing stopping somebody from viewbotting somebody, like nothing at all. In the email, they say you shared that you would not have risked 850K subscribers in 15 years of work for $1,200 a year in ad revenue, which is true. I don't think anybody would really do that, especially when people have emotional connections to their YouTube channel. It's not something most people would think of doing and risking what they've built on. But the AdSense team insists they reviewed it and they think he still did it, and it's invalid traffic in April of 2022. Then they say Google takes invalid traffic very seriously, analyzing all clicks and impressions to promote an ecosystem that works well for users, advertisers, and creatives, which is true. YouTube does take this seriously because if advertisers suddenly start getting a bunch of random traffic that doesn't make them any money, they might pull out of YouTube. And why would YouTube allow that to happen? Like, there's a lot of restrictions on how you talk about ads and how you promote ads on your channel, because if ads get less effective, Google will make less money. It all makes sense. And then Hutch replies with this: the lesson that I have taken from this experience as a creator on the platform for 15 years is there is essentially no protections for creators should you find yourself the target of somebody who wants to have your ability to monetize removed. There's nothing you can do. And yeah, that is true. YouTube is really bad at dealing with people who don't have a huge presence on the platform because there's not much in it for them. Like, there's no real support avenue on YouTube at all. That's why you see a bunch of people go to Twitter and complain to Team YouTube, because it is the only way to get anything done. It is a joke. But one of the big reasons why this really sucks for Hutch is that you can't make a new AdSense account. Like, you are limited to one AdSense account, and if that gets banned, you're done. You have to use like a company's, or that's it. You can't use another AdSense account that you control. There's like a loophole where if you have a company do it and it's not technically yours, you can still monetize, but that wouldn't stop somebody from viewbotting again in the future and ruining, you know, that new AdSense account. So basically, you are completely restricted on having only one AdSense account. Now, personally, I don't think Hutch viewbotted, because if you go to April 2022, when they claimed the viewbotting took place, he only got 51,000 views. And in the YouTube world nowadays, that is not a lot of views. I don't know why someone would viewbot 51,000 views. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I'd love to see why AdSense insists that it's invalid traffic, because this doesn't make any sense to me as a YouTuber. Like, I don't know why you would viewbot 51,000 views. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But luckily, Hutch can appeal again in 3 months, but I doubt they'll change their response because they seem pretty dead set on him having invalid traffic that he created. And overall, I think that Hutch is innocent. I don't think he would do this. It doesn't make any sense to me why someone would do this with 850K subs and 15 years of work. Like, as I said earlier, there's an emotional connection to YouTube channels that people have because you're creating something. It's not just a TV network that you just shit out, right? So I really don't understand why somebody would viewbot for a 15-year-old channel. Now, it is possible that Hutch had a different channel that had invalid traffic attached to his AdSense account that he created, but I also don't see that happening. I think most YouTubers are pretty aware of the risks that are involved if you make a second channel and viewbot it, that your AdSense could get terminated. Like, overall, I think most people are aware of that risk. So it'd be kind of surprising to me if he actually did that. And for all I know, Hutch could have actually done this, but as I said, I don't think so. Especially since that in the email, they literally reference his channel with 850K subs and 15 years of work. It'd just be really weird if there was some alt channel he had where he did viewbot. It wouldn't make any sense to me at all, given that the email was talking about his main channel, Hutch. Like, maybe he was really desperate and really wanted to viewbot like 20 to 30K views, but like, I don't know, man, that seems super unlikely. And this also could potentially be an issue for like any creator. This doesn't just have to be like Hutch. And with YouTube having scams and stuff on the rise, it would not surprise me if they just missed this kind of thing. Because like, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been like a huge uptick in hacks recently because YouTube security sucks. Like Linus Tech Tips got hacked, did a whole in-depth dive on why their security's bad. And one of the biggest reasons is if you try to mass delete videos, YouTube doesn't check to make sure it's you. Like they don't make you re-enter your password or anything. They just let you do it. They also don't prompt you to put in your password if you change your username, which is kind of a big thing, especially if you're a verified account. Like, I don't know how many people are changing their username enough to where they don't need to enter a password to do it. It's just little things like that that YouTube does not have implemented that are causing issues. And also a lot of the hacks that are happening are caused from Gmail, which is owned by Google, which Google also owns YouTube, or Alphabet owns both of Google and YouTube. So like a lot of the problems that are happening with YouTube recently in terms of hacks are YouTube's fault. So it would not surprise me if YouTube has something happening in the background and they don't know about it yet, and they haven't looked into it enough to actually realize that, oh, there's a huge flaw with our system and people can viewbot other people and get caught for it. Wouldn't surprise me. That's also a little bit of a stretch. And also, it's not like Hutch is on the grind set anymore. The dude's just kind of chilling and uploading whatever he wants, and monetization and that kind of stuff is nice. Like, it's not like he'd be making like, you know, 100K a month or something. Like, even before his monetization was turned off, the dude was like uploading like once every 6 months or something. He's clearly just doing this because he enjoys it now. So I really don't understand YouTube's whole perspective on, well, we saw invalid traffic and it looks very legitimate to us. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like literally, it's like the month they cite in the video, 51K views. Who's gonna viewbot 51K views? Why would you ever put your channel at risk for 51K views? And assuming there was no view botting previously, in March, you got about 30K views, right? So it would have been like a 20K increase. So like 20K view bot. Why would anyone do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, sometimes people do weird things. It is possible still. Okay, Hutch might have done something. I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I hope Hutch gets his monetization back because, as I said earlier, this is a problem for all creators potentially. This is not just a Hutch problem. Like, if you see a huge uptick in YouTubers complaining on Twitter about invalid traffic bans, it's probably a bigger problem than they realize. And even if it is just a Hutch problem, I don't think he deserves to have his monetization turned off if he actually didn't do anything. And like, in my personal opinion, I don't think he did anything. It really would not make any sense. If he did something like view botting, I would be really surprised. And also, there's no transparency in the process of how YouTube determines if it was you that did the invalid traffic or if it was somebody else. Like, do they check IPs? Like, how does that work? Because from what I recall, YouTube channels got hacked because they used a VPN in the vicinity of the creator's channel. Like, Linus Tech Tips got hacked because they used a VPN in Vancouver, I think. So, like, clearly YouTube's system for validating if somebody's actually them or not is not that great. And I don't expect YouTube to be perfect in that regard. It's going to happen sometimes. But they need to be good about fixing the problems because ultimately, this is their problem too. Because if any of these issues get out of hand, they also screw themselves over. Like, what happens if Mr. Beast accidentally gets banned from AdSense because of invalid traffic? Like, as much as we think that YouTubers are like celebrities because we're in this world, like Mr. Beast is huge, do not get me wrong. Someone working at AdSense might have no idea who Mr. Beast is. Like, AdSense is a totally different part of YouTube. It is just a monetization thing. Like, advertisers also use AdSense. It is not just a YouTuber thing. So it is very possible this could become a bigger problem, but we'll see. We'll find out. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new, and check out my other content using the end screens now, and have a good one.